Hello, I'm Quinny. Welcome to the channel. In this video today, guys, we are going to be going through the latest episode of Limited Chat. I just really can't, limiteds are becoming very much more of my day-to-day experience just with the situation I'm in, which we'll be talking about, how I see the market kind of developing and all that kind of jazz. As usual, we will feature comments from the previous video from you guys, so stay tuned for that. And obviously, anything, any thoughts, opinions, comments you've got, leave them in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. And let's get stuck into it. Now, I was on SoRare Data, and this page just kind of took my attention. I was like, oh, I have, at the time it was 50. I was like, oh, I've got 50 limiteds and 38 super rares. I was like, I've got more limit. I had to get my head around this. I was like, I've got more limiteds than I do super rares. I'm like, that's so bizarre because I've just I've been being tentative. I've been trying to feel my way in quite easily or quite smoothly. The limiteds, I've not been, definitely not in a rush in any way, shape or form. And if I'm not careful, they are going to be catching up on my rares, so I've got 27 rares up there. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Oh yeah, I can zoom. So I've got 51 rares, look at that. 127 rares, 38 SRs. And I was like, oh, that is very interesting. And recently in the other videos, we've been talking about yield and all that kind of stuff, but just seeing that number being as high as 50, because I got an instant flashback and deja vu from when I hit 50 rares. That was a huge milestone for me when I was building my club, because I was very slow paced at the beginning. A lot of my growth has been kind of in line. Check the state of my barnet, by the way. It's been in line with the platform in a lot of ways as well. So going back through that experience again, like, it's so much fun and it's so enjoyable, and it's great because I can kind of live a kind of parallel experience almost, because of the situation, like the rare and the super rare collection I've got has gotten to, that is kind of its own thing, and it's pretty much set almost round about where I want it. But with this, it's a whole new kind of trapdoor effect where we're coming down into Division 5, which is the only division these things are playable in at the moment. And it is like everything has them, they're all available, here they go, everything that's in season, bum, 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 get them all out. And, I think it's been great so far, if that makes sense. And I feel now I'm quite prepared to maybe, I don't know if I want to say go up a level, because I'm not going to be, I'm thinking about maybe purposefully buying maybe 4 cards or something like that, but like, prices I would spend on a rare normally kind of thing. And I don't really know how to phrase that. So, any thoughts on that? Comment section down below, help me out on this one. But if you actually look at the limiteds I've been picking up, right, I've got a lot of additions, right? So, first of all, I've picked up a bunch of ticket additions, and obviously I gave 2 of them away in a recent competition. Competitions on the channel are good fun for all involved. I got another one, gave it to my cousin, and I've got 6 here that I've kept. I'm going to do a wee trip. It's going to be so much fun, guys. Stay tuned. Things will be confirmed as soon as they are in paper. It's in tablet, it's ready to rock. But yeah, some La Liga matches, that should be great. But in terms of my limited strategy, I am severely just thinking of those guys as commons, if that makes sense, because I'm not going to be able to sell them after I've redeemed the tickets from them, when that kind of thing happens, whenever that rolls around. And equally, I'll have went to a La Liga match, I'll have had that ticket, it'll be a thing to me, and, I can't display anywhere near half the amount of stuff that I've collected being a Celtic fan over the years, going to matches, programs, badges, all the good stuff, ticket stubs. So I don't see myself actually ever being motivated, I beg your pardon, to actually sell any of these things. So I'm just looking at them as commons. I've got a common Vlasic and Ronaldo and a Paul Lopez, and those 3 guys have served me pretty well. If I can get something similar out of this out of this lot, then cool. And if I can sell them for any more than what I paid for them after I've redeemed the ticket, then hey, we'll talk. We'll see what happens. But I have 21 rookie edition cards. Now, as you'll probably know from the other videos, we went in quite big on Anthony Malambo. There wasn't really too much behind that. I just kind of liked it, the idea, and went for it. The price of him, we picked up a bunch. Since which time I've went on and picked up I'm starting to kind of get in a kind of flavour for it, just picking up some guys that look really good. And I think, limiteds for me can only increase in the amount of utility that we're going to get for them, in terms of, there is only one division, there's 1,000 of everything You know, it's 10 times bigger than rares. And as we're all quite happy to point out, rares have got such versatility up the ladder. They can really go and be useful in so many different strategical situations in the market and in SO5. And limiteds, surely, in the key ingredient of this, of course, is platform growth. You know, is the kind of growth we expect to see with this game for how good it is, how fun it is when it's exposed to the masses. How can everyone not have fun playing this to their own, everyone's level kind of thing, you know? So that is a special ingredient in all this, right? But there is 10x more, so there should be at least a bit more utility, not less, you know. And obviously they have to ease themselves into the pool on this one because the whole thing is built on rares now. So to completely take that place, almost that mantle, that kind of new user go to place is something you want to do in line with growth also and over time. It's not a rip the plaster off type of move. It can easily be what it is. But that being said, eventually we should be getting into a situation where we're looking at there's 10 divisions per region. There might even be a region, I was saying this with Perez, one of his threads on Twitter, was there might even be a region that is like limiteds only, D1 to 4, you know, and it's different prize levels, and maybe you've got last 5 averages, last 15 averages. You could do the same with rares. You could do so much if you wanted to, if you were so motivated to. But what you know, and again, there's a rabbit hole there that we might not go down today. I will probably be editing this video later on and remember what I've said, writing it down and make sure I make a video about it. So anyway, TBC on another day. But with these rookies, like if it is only going to become the foundation of the platform, if it is only going to get, in my opinion, much more utility, much more versatility, then these things are just really exciting to buy for what I would call cheap, you know. And obviously I've got a bit of a wallet I can play with, and I can go and buy a few multiples, which is something I've nowhere near done enough in my SoRare career. I've definitely not made anywhere near the amount I should have been greedy in certain places, but I was always quite fearful because my main reason for purchase will be utility, and I, for the large part, don't get much more utility out of a copy, you know, because some of them are for specific, like this is a D3 or this is a D4, that kind of thing. So, you know, it's one of those things I've never really delved into it, and the odd time I have, selling becomes very easy, of course, because you get excess you can shed into, and rookies are always just a great thing, great element of it, everything. So some of these guys I know a little bit about. Some of them, like Malambo and Noah here, Noah and Bamba, I know like nothing about. Yeah, so that's my initial kind of entry point. I'm very weak on the ground in SO5 at the moment. Yeah, some of these guys like feature every now and again. Like Sesko seems to play for his national team and get a few appearances off the bench and rotate in and out with Salzburg, which is cool. But the rest of these guys don't really seem to be playing. Paxton Arson and Quinn Sullivan will come in maybe at international periods when the first teamers are away or through injury, that kind of thing. But nothing major. So then the next port of call I come to, my non-edition cards. Okay, so you guys kind of know who I've got. It's not really too important, right? What is important is how cheap I got them all. Okay, so they're all very much old and unfancied because of the theme I went for when La Liga onboarded. But as you can see here, with what I did get, you know, Bravo for £14, even £7 and £4 for Negredo and Nolito. Really, how bad business can that be? And Jesus Navas, £16. You know, who's still, all these guys are still playing and scoring in good teams. David Silva's the only one yet to make an appearance for me, and I'm sure when he does, he will contribute in turn. And then some of the Challenger Euro guys from Spartak Moscow. I've got Kamavinga there. It's not really amazing, you know, but he can go in there sometimes as well. I think he's playing. A couple of Red Bull guys, Zakarian. You know, I've got the bones of like little bits here. Safanov is amazing. I love Safanov. Lucas and Gigo. But with the increase we're about to have now with the Bundesliga coming on of limited cards, limited card payouts, limited cards potential on the platform period, I'm looking to replicate what has happened here with La Liga when the Bundesliga comes back around, and just get guys I like that are going really cheap as unlimited because they're just not the hot topic of the day. Because when it is day one, guys, everyone's going for the shiny things all the time, and when people's wallets, like you can see my wallet at the top right of the screen, if I'm buying a bunch of cards especially, and things are looking a bit tight, then you will hesitate. And sometimes if it's like, well, I'm going to get Nolito for £4 because you won't pay £6 for him, that's fine by me. I'll take a wee Nolito for £4, you know. And it is what it is. If it's nothing, it's, you know. Anyway, you see my point. So when the German League comes on, we believe it's going to be the end of October. I'm looking to strengthen my kind of Champion Euro setup in D5 with a kind of FIME like Bundesliga team. I can't quite work out what FIME I want to go with. I maybe just want to go all Leipzig, because I love Leipzig, of course, as you all know if you're on the channel often enough. Or I don't know, maybe something else will come to me. Who knows? So that's what I'm kind of looking at for limited. As I'm starting to think, right, good bit of preparation for like just being comfortable and just, you know, coasting in and pick up a tier 2, pick up a tier 3, because when you look at the tier system, I was actually looking at that earlier, I meant to keep it on screen, I beg your pardon. The Champion Euro payout in Champion Euro D5 was up to 200th position, right? Now, I know from operating at D2 level in particular, but in D3 as well, you still come across it, I suppose. The tier 2 pool is really a great place to be fishing in most game weeks. You know, if you can pull a lot of tier 2s, you will like get some good stuff. You know, there's no, I don't think there's too much question about that. You know, if you were to pull them consistently, you'll definitely come out with some good stuff. There's no, yeah, no two ways about it. The Star Limiteds only go back to 5th, which is a wee bit of a hindrance, but with the onboarding of the Bundesliga, and I can't stress this enough, the Bundesliga adds so many more licensed cards on the platform, because we only had 2 teams out of the 18 there, so that's 16 new teams, full complement of players. You know, we're into October, so they should have pictures for everyone in the squad by now. So when they're getting them all over, there shouldn't be any of this messing about. I still can't believe I've not got an Aguero to go and buy. It's annoying. But anywho, you get the point. So I'm expecting this to be a lot more fun to compete in, a lot more viable to pull wins from, and quite affordable if you're careful and considered, with some odd ones here and there. Oh, that guy's 34, maybe take a punt on him, and oh, that goalkeeper, you know, those kind of things. Because a big part of like success on these limited cards is going to be on winning more quickly and trying to get some of the really expensive ones, because yeah, that's the whole catch. That's the whole. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Champion Euro D5 prize pool go up. You know, I think it's going to be a lot more fun to compete in, a lot more attractive, and you know, for the kind of footing you can get in Champion Euro if you are kind of knocking about. And I'm not showing you those cards I've got and telling you they're they are amazing winners. They're not, but they'll get me on the board to start with, you know. And then, as you know, with SO5 to get into even just into the tier 2, tier 3 positions, you know, don't really need to push the boat out too far. You just need to plan your fixtures well, know your guys, and maybe just keep a kind of consistent pattern, you know. So I'm really looking forward to kind of armouring up with the Bundesliga when that comes in. So from the last video we had Hey My, but enjoying limited now. I just want the Cup of African Nations to be added, or you know, the CAF World Cup qualifying. Shame not to have African Cup of Nations ready for the upcoming January. I believe the World Cup qualifiers in Africa are scored as of the next round, is what I understand it as. Africa Cup of Nations, I don't remember seeing anything about, but they didn't have the Gold Cup, so it won't be a huge surprise. Will be a disappointment, because that's one thing I've been looking forward to with SoRare, is getting that African access, because like in the other games I've played and stuff like the African Cup of Nations and that kind of thing is never really even spoken about, reported on, whatever. And I think, you know, you've got to respect all these places as equally as you can, you know. That is football, and especially that top level, the Champions League and the Cup of Nations that they have, you know. So hey ho. I cannot pronounce that. I'm going to say Nikonod or something. Thanks to the videos, Quinny. With the off season coming up for some leagues, how do you think the limited markets may change? I'm actually planning. Well, I'm a planning. I don't know. I've been reimagining myself in a lot of different regions and looking and thinking about what should my competition level be, what kind of profile do I want. There's a few kind of ideas popping about my wee heads thinking about it, and I'm not really too sure yet. Now, I think prices will plummet the hardest, undoubtedly, in Asia in the limited market, if there is price plummets to happen. And some of them I know are like bottom dollar cheap anyway. So how much lower can they go? I think you just grind to a halt at that stage. You know, liquidity just dries up. MLS, the names, the guys that have got, because now we've had 2 seasons of MLS basically on SoRare, so you've got a lot of sample data. So a lot of the guys that are like consistently good profile scorers of whatever position and whatever situation, I think they retain a floor certainly, but you can find some crazy floors in the off season for some guys. Well, we did last year anyway. Who knows if history will repeat itself? But the off season should always present some dips and some lows. It might be momentarily, you know, it might be a false injury report, or something just goes quiet or boring. Someone needs the ETH for something else, or wants to do you a trade. Because yeah, people are always generally happier to move things on when they're not active. So they don't really feel like they're losing out on it at that exact moment in time. And if you're happy to have the patience, you know, that can be the trade-off, and you can win on sometimes. Donald Mallon started with 0.02 ETH limited squad a couple of weeks ago, picking up a second reward card this week. Tier 2, boom, 174th this time. Cheers for the vids stroke tips, lad. Fist bump to you, Donald. What a story that is. Great going. And it proves proves the point of everything we're kind of talking about. If you take your time, you're considered, you know, it can be really a lot of fun for very little input in comparison to rares, especially, you know. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to leave your comments and thoughts and suggestions in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.